everybody. Today I have a long overdue video for you, and it's a part of my foundation series that I had in my channel. And today I'm talking about foundations, and especially about high-end foundations. I have a lot of foundations to talk about. They are not 2 or 3, but they're 7. So I am directly starting telling you a short review about them and how I feel, which are my favorites and which I'm suggesting to you. So I will have down below all the links of the foundation series I have done. I have done one about BB creams and tinted moisturizers, and 2 about drugstore foundations. I have a couple of new drugstore foundations for a future video, but now we're talking about high-end, and I really love my high-end foundations. And I'm quite happy with most of them. There are some that they are not my favorite, and there are some that they are like my absolute favorite foundations. I have to say and remind you all that I have a normal combination skin. Tends to be oily during the summer, but in general I like it when it has a natural finish. I'm not a girl that really loves the matte finish on the skin. I find it quite unnatural. I don't think that any skin is naturally matte without any foundation on, and I find it very flat and weird. So you will see that most of the foundations I choose to try, they are semi-matte or sometimes dewy, also from my drugstore foundations, but I think I have more drugstore dewy foundations. And from my high-end foundations, I have very high expectations because they tend to be very expensive. So I really want them to be perfect on the skin. I really want them to have a good result, to be long wearing. I expect more from them than from my drugstore foundations. A last piece of information is that I don't like to build up a lot the coverage when I'm wearing a foundation. So I'm a kind of person that I prefer a medium coverage, and that I would like that my skin will look uniform and without any redness, but I will leave a few imperfections for my concealer to cover up, and I don't want to have to build up the foundation and have a flawless coverage with a lot of product on my face. So usually I will use maximum 1.5 palm from very few foundations, and I will apply them usually with a brush, a foundation brush, and I don't want a lot of product on my face. So having said all this, I'm finally starting with the first and least favorite foundation from the band, and this is the Teint Visionnaire Skin Perfecting Makeup Duo for dark spots, pores and wrinkles from Lancome. This has an SPF of 20, is oil-free and non-comedogenic, and it's dermatologically tested. And the reason I bought this is because it is a skincare, foundation and concealer in one. So this has the infamous Visionnaire serum in, and this is one of my favorite skin products, and it's one of my holy grail serums, so I really wanted to try it. And it also has a precision corrector on the top with a small mirror, and you can see here the concealer. The concealer is decent. I'm trying to see if it writes anywhere the quantity of the concealer, but I think it's quite big. And the concealer is quite decent. It has quite a good coverage for the face. I don't like it so much for my under eye area, but we're talking foundation today and not concealer. So my problem with this foundation is, first of all, my own problem and not the problem of the foundation. The fact that I have the wrong shade, because I could not find the lightest shades that I wanted to try here in Switzerland, and then I decided to get the foundation out of a duty-free shop in one of my travels, and this is very dark, and it didn't look so dark compared to all the others that they had there, or compared to what I thought it would be, because it's 010, and based on the fact that the lights in the airport were horrible. So I got this, and this is 1 to even 2 shades darker than it should be. So I can never wear this alone. I have only wear it on its own in the house, so that I could test the duration and everything. and that really bugs me, but it's not a problem of the product, it's a problem of my choice. I always use another foundation to lighten it up, and it's not a bad foundation. It has a medium coverage, it applies nicely, it's liquid, it comes with a pump. I don't love the packaging, it's too bulky for my taste, it's really not travel friendly. It applies smoothly, it doesn't stick on your fine lines. I don't really believe this skincare thing. It might have the ceramine, but really I would not wait for the foundation to give me my skincare. I am not very convinced about this part, and this is a very expensive foundation. So I really don't think that it offers such a great coverage and a great duration compared to all the other high-end foundations I have, so that I could really recommend people getting this one. So it is an innovative product. It was an innovative product when it came out, and I think it's a really cool concept, but I'm really not buying it so much. So this is not my favorite one. Next one is a foundation for which I have spoken in the past. I have done an Hourglass products video, and I will have the link down below. And this is the Veil Fluid Makeup Oil-Free Broad Spectrum SPF 15 foundation. I love this one. I think that all these foundations have SPF, and I have no problem with photographs with any of them, but I really like this one. I like the packaging. I find it amazingly classy. It's one of the most beautiful ones, and I have the shade Porcelain 0. So a thing with this foundation to know is that if you're lighter than me, you cannot find something. So this is the lightest shade. It fits nicely. It is my color. I love it a lot, and I have no complaints from this foundation, but it's really not easy to find and to order, because you can only get Hourglass in US and in UK. So I think there are other foundations in this price range, and they have similar or even better results, and you can find in your local makeup department store. So that is the reason that I cannot consider it a top, in my opinion, but it stays nicely, it covers nicely, it has a very natural result. I really like this foundation. Next foundation, I have two Chanel foundations that I really love. The first one is the first one that I tried, and is the Perfection Lumiere Long Wear Flawless Fluid Makeup with SPF 10. I love this. I really love this foundation. The packaging, it's maybe the most beautiful one. It's very elegant, very flawless. I like this classical Chanel packaging. It has a scent. If you don't like scented makeup products and face products specifically, you will hate it. I love the scent when I am applying it on my face. I really feel so nice. And it is oil-free, and it is long-wearing and dermatologically tested, of course. All of them have 30 ml of product in. I really like this one. It gives a very beautiful result. It's perfect for normal to oily skin, and I really like it. I have a shade darker than I should, because I really thought that this was the lighter shade that I could find in Switzerland, but that was not the case. That was just what the guy on the Chanel counter told me. And this is 30 beige. I can get out with it even without mixing it with a lighter shade, but I usually will use a shade very close to my natural color, so that I can just slightly make it a bit lighter to fit better my face. But it's a really beautiful foundation, and I really loved this. It was my favorite high-end foundation until I tried this one. And this is the Perfection Lumiere Velvet Smooth Effect Makeup with SPF 15. I adore this foundation. I felt so bad that I didn't include it in my 14 makeup products for 2014. I really felt bad, and I was thinking about that afterwards, and I was like, why didn't I somehow add this foundation? I'm using this foundation all the time, and when I use it for a day, I want to use it then for a whole month, every single day, and then for a reason I will try another one and I will leave it aside for a bit. But whenever I have it on me, I feel so nice. It has such a beautiful coverage. It's so travel friendly. Supposedly it's the oily skin version for Vital Lumiere. It is semi-matte, it is natural, it is perfect, and it looks so freaking gorgeous on the skin. I really love this foundation. It has a perfume, it is scented, not as much as the Perfection Lumiere, but I really like this foundation. It's certainly one of my favorite ones, and my shade is 20. I cannot find 10 here, but if you can find 10 and you're lighter than me, you know that you can have a lighter shade. The problem with Chanel foundations is that shades, there's so few shades. It's so difficult to really find something that is perfect on your skin. So for me, this is the best match I have found for my shade, and I'm happy with it, but it's really one of the cons of the Chanel foundations. Next, I have the foundation that it's also very travel friendly, and it was one that I really wanted to try out. And the reason that I got this was a video review from Ghost Makeup Artist on the Makeup Atelier Airbrush High Definition Foundation, and it's this one. And he said actually that this is the best liquid foundation in the world. It's very difficult for me to review this foundation because I think that this foundation is not targeting people like me. It's not a bad product, but it's not a product for the way I am using it. So I love the packaging, it's extremely travel friendly. I think it will be fabulous for makeup artists because they can pack a lot of different shades on their kit, and this is really good. And I have the Pale Base Air 1B shade. I got it from iMatte, and it was really nice. The shade is really good for my skin. It had such a huge range of shades, so I think it's really good for everyone to find the best shade on their face. The problem is that it's very difficult to order it. I think that it depends where you live, but for example for US it's really difficult, and I don't know if you can find it in stores or you just have to order it online. I got it, as I said, from iMatte. My problem with this foundation is the reason that really Ghost Makeup Artist likes it. So the thing is that with this foundation you can apply a lot of coverage and build it up and still look natural. The thing is that I don't usually do that. I want a foundation that I will just apply a pump and I will nicely apply it on my face, and it will have a decent, not full, but a decent coverage, and then I will just need a bit of concealer and I will be okay. I don't have a huge amount of stuff to cover up, but this is very light coverage when you just use one sweep of the brush, and then you can build it up a lot, but it's a fussy procedure. If you're a makeup artist, it's perfect because you can use it and build it from light to extremely full coverage, and you can have a lot of foundation on, and it will still not look cakey, but it will not look perfect. Don't believe like what Ghost Makeup Artist said, that it will look like skin and completely natural when you're like sitting by the person. If you have 5 coats of this thing on, build it up to have a completely full coverage, it will still look like you're wearing foundation. It will be one of the most natural ones, but for me, getting this one for my personal use, instead of getting this one that I can put one coat on and it will look nice and it will cover everything I want and it will still be very natural, I don't understand why I should choose this one. and this is even hard to find and to order. So I think that depending on the kind of use that you will have on the product, you might want to try this one, especially if you are like a professional. But for my personal use, I'm not amazed by this foundation. I don't think it gives so many more things than a normal high-end foundation that I can find in my department store. Next is a foundation that it's only sold in US. I got this, a friend brought it from US, and it is sold at Sephora, and it's the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Foundation. It comes in a packaging like that. I find it quite cute. It has a pump. It's not the most expensive looking and elegant one, but it's nice, and I have the shade L46, which is light, but it's not the lightest one. So there is quite a lot of shades even for very pale people, and it is full coverage, 24 hours wear, transfer resistant, matte finish, fragrance free, oil free, and it's really all that. I don't know why I wanted this foundation, because it's not usually the foundation I will choose from a store. So this has a matte finish and the full coverage. I just decided that I have read and heard so many reviews on this foundation that I really found it intriguing to try it, and that if I had a long wearing matte full coverage foundation, that could be a very good choice. But whenever I apply this with a brush, I cannot have this result on my face. It's such, you need a tiny amount, and it applies really nicely for such a thick foundation. But for me, this amount of coverage is so weird on my face. I'm not used to it. I don't want to feel like I'm wearing so much makeup on, so much foundation at least on, and I don't really want it. I think that for people that they love the matte finish and they want this full coverage and flawless makeup, it's perfect. It's a perfect filming foundation, because really the camera goes and really makes worse every single imperfection you have on your skin. So usually my skin will look much better to a person that sits here with me in the room than you see it on camera. So I think it's a perfect filming foundation, but I will not want to wear it outside of the house when I apply it with a brush. So this is the only foundation that I decided, and I'm trying to apply with the Real Techniques sponge, and you can have a much lighter coverage depending on how wet your sponge will be, and you can even have like a very light to medium coverage, and it looks nice and it covers everything that needs to be covered, and then you just need a bit of concealing and it's perfect. So I usually use it like that because it's long wearing, and then it looks less matte and less cakey, so I really like it. And a thing that I really love with this foundation is using it as a concealer when I have something really big to conceal on my face. So if you have a spot or something that really gives you trouble with normal concealers, I think this will really do a perfect job. Last but certainly not least, one of my absolute favorite foundations is the new, it's not new anymore, Diorskin Star Studio Makeup Spectacular Brightening Weightless Perfection with SPF 30, and this is long wearing, and this is by Dior. I just saw that the Kat Von D one has no SPF in it, so it's the only one that has no SPF in it, just have it in mind. And this is shade 022. I love this. This was one of my 14 best makeup products for 2014. I find it elegant. I find it really nice. This is not a dewy foundation. This is not a matte flat foundation. This is a semi-matte natural foundation. It will stay all day. It will be flawless. It will be really nice. You can build it up, but it has a nice medium coverage when you apply just as much as you need on your face. I really love this foundation, and I think that if I would recommend you to go and try 2 of these foundations, and these are very easy to find. Among the high-end ones is the Perfection Lumiere Velvet by Chanel and the Diorskin Star by Dior, and these are my choices from these brands. So these are my high-end foundations, and this is my 2 cents on them. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, push the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos to come. Leave me your comments down below. Tell me if you have ever tried any of these foundations. Tell me what kind of coverage you usually prefer. You might have a completely different type of skin, or you might like the very light coverage or the very full coverage. Do you like matte foundations? Do you agree with me that matte kind of looks very weird and unnatural on the face? And give me suggestions of high-end foundations that you think that I have to try. I really want to try the new one by NARS, but I think that I will wait a bit more because I'm really enjoying the foundations I have right now in my collection. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!